Okay, welcome to the Mayor's Update for the regular meeting of Council from January 9th. First off, we started with a delegation from the High River Policing Committee, and Tom came and just presented an idea to us, which is basically taking school zones and playground zones and making them the same thing. So school zones just become designated as playground zones, because basically that's what they are, regardless of whether school's in. Kids are still playing in those playgrounds. So I love the idea. I think it makes perfect sense. And so it's adjusting the times as to when they, rather than being during the school hours and fluctuating around those things, that it's a playground zone. So from 7:30 a.m. in the morning to 1 hour after sunset, they are a playground zone. They are a 30-kilometer-an-hour zone. So it's just keeping things consistent. So we've put that back to our town staff to review things, and they'll bring it back shortly. And in my mind, it's a pretty easy one that makes complete sense. The big one that we went through was our 2017 to 2021 capital budget, primarily focusing on 2017, but we always go out a few more years just to so that we can see some of the big expenditures that are coming in the next few years, and we can budget accordingly today for them. So the total budget ends up being $37.6 million, and it sounds a lot for a town of 12,000 people, and it is. 34.8 million of that is still flood recovery grants from the government of Alberta. So we are down to a $2.8 million capital budget, and those are, things like our sidewalk projects and upgrades to the water treatment plant, all those infrastructure kind of things that we got to keep going. So big one with that, we did add a $75,000 feasibility study for the rec center. Obviously there's a lot going on over there, and we've got to get our heads wrapped around and plan this properly as to what's going to happen. So these are all pieces that they cost money, but they guide us and give us the proper information so that we can make decisions going forward on that facility. So there's lots on our website, as you can read the whole capital budget if you're looking for something to fall asleep to. So that was about it on that one, fairly simple. A couple of secondary suites, one at 21 Sunrise Close and one at 1534 11th Avenue Southeast. Both of those went through second and third readings, approved by council. Proposed road closure and sale to adjacent property owners. This is a piece that's actually on 7th Avenue and 3rd Street. It's an empty chunk of property between two landowners that have used this land. They've got fences on it and everything for decades. They've had it, and we're being really putting a lot of pressure on things to get rid of some of these little chunks of property that we don't really need. So put that money elsewhere that's a benefit to the town. So we just directed administration to make the deal with these two landowners, and they're splitting that property between themselves, and they'll purchase the property and they'll own it. So we do have a water line that goes through there, so there will always be an easement there so we can access that if it needs to be fixed at some point in time. But for the most part, it's useful to them and not to us, so they should own it. So final one was the economic recovery grant request. This is something that Jody brought to us. This is just supplementary grant requests to the government of Alberta for us to continue on with the good work that she's got going now. And so we just approved her looking for funding 2017 $280K, 2018 $400K. All falls in line with the efforts that she's doing. So going on to that, everybody needs to understand that January 30th, the end of this month, there's a marketing information session that Jody's looking for feedback from the community on as to what direction they feel is right for High River, and they've got 2 or 3 options. I've seen them. They both look great. I think a combination of both of them somehow is going to be fantastic, but we want to look at getting the public's input on this. So Monday, January 30th at the Memorial Center from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Everybody's welcome to come and see what's going on and provide Jody their feedback so we can make the right decision. So that's about it. Keep it real short. Thank you very much. Talk to you. Bye.